They laughed the moment she stepped through the door, short, slight, barely looking old enough to graduate high school, let alone shop for a firearm. The bell over the gun store entrance jingled with a bright cheer that contrasted sharply with the low, rolling chuckles of the men leaning against the counter. Their jackets carried patches from units she recognized instantly, Army, Marines, a retired airborne ranger among them. But the way they stared told her they recognized nothing about her. "Sweetheart, the ice cream shop is 2 doors down," one of them muttered. Another nudged his friend. "What's she gonna do? Buy a pink .22 to match her shoes?" Emma didn't respond. Her boots were plain. Her stance was balanced. Her eyes, quiet, calm, calculating, roamed the walls lined with rifles and handguns. She moved with the unhurried certainty of someone who didn't need to prove anything. But the men didn't stop. "You even know how to clean one of these?" one asked, tapping a shotgun on the display rack. "Bet she's never even held a real weapon," another said. The owner, a thick-shouldered man named Cole, glanced up from the paperwork he was filling out behind the counter. He started to greet her out of habit, but then he froze. His pen stopped mid-stroke. His eyes narrowed, and then they widened with a recognition so sharp, it cut through the room. Emma, unfazed by the attention, walked along the wall until she found the rifle she was looking for, a well-maintained older model with a walnut stock. She lifted it gently, examining the sights, the bore, the balance. One of the men scoffed. "You can't just pick it up like that. You gotta ask first." Emma set the rifle down with controlled precision. "You're right," she said softly. "My apologies." Her voice was steady but carried something behind it: discipline, experience, training. Cole's face twitched at the sound. The youngest man snorted. "Look, kid, this is real life, not some game. Handling guns is dangerous. People get hurt when they don't know what they're doing." Emma met his eyes, and for a fraction of a second, the room felt smaller, colder. "People get hurt," she said quietly, "when they assume." The door creaked behind her as another shopper walked in, but no one turned. The tension had shifted, drawn tight around the tiny space Emma occupied. She stepped to the counter. Cole remained perfectly still, watching her the way a soldier watches a superior officer inspect a barracks. "I'm looking for a replacement," she said. "Something classic. Something reliable." Cole swallowed. "Of course, ma'am." The men blinked. The ranger leaned forward. "Ma'am, come on, Cole, she's a kid." Cole didn't take his eyes off Emma. "No," he said. "She's not." He carefully lifted a rifle case from under the counter. "Is this similar to what you trained with?" The muttering stopped. The room seemed to tilt. Emma hesitated, just for a moment. "Close enough," she answered. The ranger frowned. "Trained. Trained where?" Cole's voice dropped lower in respect. "Sir, if she wants you to know, she'll tell you. But I suggest you stop talking." That earned confusion from the men, but a sudden, sharp curiosity too. Emma stepped aside as Cole unlocked the case. Nestled inside was a beautifully kept service rifle, something not usually displayed for general sale. Something you'd show only to someone who would appreciate its history. Cole pushed it toward her. "Would you like to check the action, ma'am?" Emma lifted it with both hands, familiar and fluid. Her fingers ran along the metal, tracing the machining, the magazine release, the chamber. She brought it to her shoulder with slow, reverent motion. The room held its breath. The ranger's eyes widened as he watched her posture shift into something he recognized: flawless stance, weight distribution perfect, cheek weld practiced. She ran a silent inspection with the precision of someone who could field strip the weapon blindfolded. "Wait," the ranger breathed. "That's not beginner form." Emma lowered the rifle. "I'll take it." Cole nodded immediately, already reaching for the paperwork. But the youngest guy still wasn't convinced. "Hold on, how old are you?" Emma didn't turn. "Old enough." "That's not an answer." Cole slammed a form onto the counter so hard the man jumped. "Son, I've seen that young lady put more seasoned operators to shame. Show some respect." The ranger's brow furrowed. "Operators." Cole inhaled deeply, as though deciding whether to cross a line. "Let me put it this way. If she hadn't walked through that door, I would have closed early today. She's not here as a customer. She's here as someone who has earned the right to walk into any place in this country and be treated with respect." Emma didn't react to the praise. She simply kept her gaze on the rifle as Cole completed the documents. The ranger moved closer, studying her face. You were deployed, he said, not a question. Emma's jaw tightened slightly. A few times. Special operations. He pressed. She said nothing. The silence was answer enough. Cole finished the paperwork, then stepped back, planting his feet firmly. He stood straight, no slouch, no casual lean. His posture shifted to something formal, rigid, military. Then he saluted. A crisp, perfect salute. Ma'am, he said with reverence that made the men behind her fall silent. It's an honor. The room froze. Emma blinked, startled, not by the salute, but by the weight behind it. Slowly, she lifted a hand and returned it, a motion so clean and unmistakable that even the most skeptical man in the room felt the air change. The ranger immediately straightened. His scorn melted into a stunned respect. What unit? He asked softly. Emma lowered her hand. The kind that doesn't recruit loudly. He nodded once, understanding. Cole handed her the rifle, now in its case. Take care of her. I always do. As she turned toward the exit, the men stepped aside. No jokes, no laughter, no mocking. Their faces carried something else now, respect mixed with uncertainty. They didn't know who she was, not exactly, but they knew enough to recognize the gravity she carried. Emma paused at the door, hand on the knob. Have a good day, gentlemen. This time, not a single one dared call her sweetheart. The bell chimed softly as she stepped into the daylight, the rifle case hanging at her side, perfectly balanced, just like the woman carrying it.